Wow, what a way to start the show today. I thought I'll be able to catch my breath, but I'm still panting. So, Demola, thanks so much for giving us that rare opening to this show. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
Great. And really, we have so many things to ask you because we're talking about talent. We're talking about.
So let's get on with it,
Let's
John.
let's get on with it.
Let's get on down.
Let's get on
Now,
down.
okay, so straight off, could you just share with us, the moment you realized that your passion for music was such that you wanted to pursue something in that field? Do you recall how it all started for you?
Yeah. Whilst I was writing my school cert in 1987, I actually rushed off a particular exam just to go and play for a wedding mass at St. Dennis Catholic Church.
Okay.
That was then by the founder of St. Philbert's College,
yeah.
late Father Slattery, the Irish priest.
Yes.
So I finished my paper and the examiner said, "Why are you rushing?" I said, "I have to play for a wedding mass." So I rushed down. I had to just go on the organ, even though when I was playing there, I was vamping.
What does that mean?
Oh, vamping. You play music in two ways,
Okay.
either by rote or by note.
Okay.
Some people just have the air and they're able to just pick notes on the piano.
Okay.
That's playing by route. So I could hear a melody and then pick it out on the piano.
Mm-hmm.
So I started vamping. And my late father, Dr. Bamidele Olota, my father played the organ before he went to study medicine in Germany.
Okay.
And on this day, I rushed into the church to play, and my father was in the church. I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
A trained musician, when you hear somebody play the organ, you can tell whether the person is vamping or playing by note.
Okay.
Yes, it does it. Okay. So my father heard me play, and when I got home, he said to me, "Young man, you see, you better go and learn theory of music properly instead of disgracing yourself all over the place. You were just playing wrong chords." And when my father told me, I used to be very incorrigible when I was growing up. Oh yes, you correct me, I get annoyed. So my father got home, told me that, I was like, and my father, pardon me in Yoruba, my father said, "Look at him." I corrected him, and look at him. You should go and learn theory of music properly and stop disgracing yourself. So that was the turning point. And then another turning point was, I was playing for a wedding mass at St. Dennis Catholic Church. I was vamping. So an elderly man came, very humble elderly man with gray. And the one Mr. Chief Bankole now said to me, Ade, he calls me Ade, let us for courtesy invite Mr. Dorregos, organist of Holy Cross Cathedral. When I heard Dorregos organ and I saw another, I just quickly stood up. And the man played the hymn, "Praise my soul, the King of Heaven." Praise my soul. I couldn't play music by note. I was vamping. I picked notes when you play. But when the man played, I could hear a full organ.
So those were the things.
That was the turning point.
Those were the moments.
I said, wow. I started going after this man. I collected his contact. So I used to visit him at St. Mary's school in Lagos.
Okay. All right.
And that was the point.
That was the point.
And many years ago. Many activities, so many success stories and all of that. And now you're so many other things. You're a singer, you're a musician, you're a producer, you're a trainer, you're a saxophonist, so many things. How do you balance and excel in all of these different areas of music? How?
Well, simply put, the grace of God. This is a gift from God, and I told him, "Father, use me to your glory." And he does it all. Somebody said, "You're able to sing classical music, you do this and do that. I owe it all to God Almighty. I'm telling you, it's a very rare gift, and I know myself. That once I was going to my house where I got, where I got married, and I was just thinking. I said, just like in Yoruba, I'm sorry, Emi Nikoto, organ playing, trained choirs. I do voice. Voice was actually my major. Actually, you always have a major and minor. Piano is my minor, but a bit of everything, put together. Okay, it just makes it for me.
So sorry, we've looked at discovering yourself.
Yeah.
Being able to apply your passion into so many fields. Let's talk about the ego bit of it. Now, at what point, and how did you turn your passion into a profitable career, so to speak?
Well, as a church organist, which was the first thing I started with, I play in a church where, as a Catholic, Catholics don't believe in remuneration. I started from St. Dennis Catholic Church as a young boy, just playing out of passion. I just wanted to get on the organ, get on the organ on Sunday. Before 6 a.m., I'm already dressed up because I'm going to play the organ.
Yeah.
And when I left St. Dennis, on Sunday, I would pass through St. Dominic's and go to Holy Cross Cathedral.
Yes.
And when I got to Holy Cross Cathedral, I attended Holy Cross Cathedral for about 4 Sundays, listening to the High Mass. Mr. Dorigos was the organist.
Yeah.
And I told Mr. Dorigos, the man said, Demola, so are you ready? I said, Daddy, I'm ready. Next Sunday I'll play. And I got on the organ. People were saying, who is this young? Because there's this tradition of a man playing the organ must be an elderly man with white hairs. Mr. Dorigos, where did you get this young man? And people were waiting for me by the sacristy at that Mass. And people started giving me money.
So that was how you started making money.
So I can make money from this.
From the most unusual.
So I then started playing drums from the keyboard. The keyboard has drums. The Casio keyboard I usually borrow from somebody. And he plays drums, and then I could play one-man band. That was how I started.
Okay.
And I started playing for weddings.
Okay.
And 10,000, 15,000. I remember the wedding I did many years ago, 25,000 naira. I played at Airport Hotel for a wedding.
But all this while, the saxophone wasn't involved.
At all. The saxophone is something that just came lately.
Okay.
I've always had passion for the horns. There's hardly a composition I do that doesn't have a horns line rather. And I listen to Fela and all of these things. I just hear that reinforcement. The horns just has this thing, very captivating for me. So I did a gig somewhere, somebody's birthday, a private birthday. Where one of my mentors and fathers, Biodo Shobanjo, Uncle Biodo Shobanjo of Inside Communication, Troika now, chairman of Troika.
Yeah.
It was his birthday. And I dedicated Frank Sinatra's My Way to him in his living room. And everybody kept quiet and I sang it. I did it my way. And when I finished, one of his friends, Mr. Wishika, said, Demola, can you repeat that song again?
We will ask you to repeat it.
Okay.
I repeated the song again. And when I finished, his wife said, Demola, Mr. Wishika said he's going to pay for this event.
Wow.
So I visited Mr. Wishika at his office the next day. And he said, Demola, that was a lovely performance. So he wrote me my check.
And gave it to you.
Yeah. As he gave me check, he said, don't go yet. And he gave me a saxophone.
Whoa.
That saxophone is in the bag there. I brought it. Premier England. So when he gave me, I was so happy. I was elated. And I said, fine. In my band, I always have a saxophonist. So I said, so when a saxophonist comes, that's something to play. But in my office sometime, my staff had closed. I was alone. And I said, if I go to that same house next year, it would be nice to play 1 or 2 tunes. And the man will say, oh, I gave him a saxophone and he has worked. So I went online. I started teaching myself.
Okay. All right.
And that was
it. Okay. So you haven't always smiled and been this excited about this business, turning your passion to
profit.
To profit. What are some of the biggest challenges you have faced in your journey, and how did you navigate through them?
Wow, that's a sport. There have been several challenges, but one that comes to mind now is I was to perform at a funeral reception at Victoria Garden City, VGC. And whilst I was getting ready, the truck for my equipment was on the way. They went through Western Avenue. And going through Western Avenue, they were stopped by the LASMA officials. And one of my girls who also studied music works with me. She was serving with me. She then called me. She said, Uncle, they have stopped the truck at Western Avenue. And the driver was so rude, and the LASMA guy said, this truck is not moving. I said, come on, get something else higher, let that thing move. I don't give my clients stories. It was tough. We got there, we managed through it, we got through it, we set up, I played for the event and it was successful. At the end of it, I now told the lady, I said, Auntie, what we faced, you can tell them the story later.
Okay.
But not that, oh, they caught us, so we couldn't come and people were waiting for no stories.
Okay.
There are several, but that is what.
Yes, and there are several stories, and I want us to quickly go through the questions so we can sneak in that my way that you talked about. But I just want to know how you've mentioned people like Jimmy Awoshika, Biodun Shobanjo, Pa Doragos, and all of that. Now, how important is training and mentorship in the music industry, so to speak? And who really were some of your mentors?
Yeah, thank you very much. If I look back, all the glory belongs to God. I give God all the glory. But I tell you, as a young boy, I started playing in church, vamping. Along the line, I started trying to learn the notes. But I attended a concert at St. Jude's Anglican Church in Butemeta. They were performing Haydn's Creation. Haydn's Creation, just like the Messiah by George Frederick Handel. So Haydn's Creation was being performed, and one of the soloists, who was my mentor eventually, is still alive. Professor Laze Kweme was one of the soloists.
Yeah.
And when Prof sings, oh no. I said, who is this man? He comes up to sing his tenor part, and you could hear the elocution, the words well spelled out.
Yeah.
Because it says in musical training, your words, whether sung or spoken, is one of the rules of the Church College of Church Music, England. Your words, whether sung or spoken, must have clarity and understanding.
Yeah.
So Prof sang, and it was like, oh my God, now vanished before the holy beams, the gloomy shades of ancient. You hear everything. Your consonant, vowels.
Everything.
So I tell you, talent alone is not enough. Talent alone is not enough. And when I saw that, I said, wow, I need to go and study.
So Prof is one of your...
Oh, Professor Laze Kweme. He was my mentor. He was my professor at the University of Lagos. Wonderful man.
Right. So I would also like to quickly chip this in.
Yeah.
I mean, now, current trends, changing things all over, right? What trends, for instance, in the music industry do you think aspiring musicians should be aware of to stay relevant and successful?
Well, ability to continue evolving, changing with the time, and being dynamic. Being dynamic, not being fixed, not being fixated as this is the way I've always done it. It's always been like this. There's always room for improvement. You see the changes, people, the Ama piano thing. I mean, I was just doing a project in the studio recently, and somebody said, look, can't we bring in the Ama piano here? That's what the guys do now. Okay. And somebody else said, oh, at your age, no. The Gen Zs, they bring in those, and then it keeps you, you're still on course. Ability to accommodate change and be dynamic.
So as we get ready to wind up, we have less than 2-3 minutes to go, unfortunately. What has the digital age and social media, what has that influenced? How has that influenced your career and the music industry as a whole?
Well, the digital age, I mean, now you don't have to go looking for somebody to get your music out there. You could go online, like someone said to me a few days ago, say, what are you doing? Go on this website, your music can go on Spotify. And it was just like speed of fire.
Yeah.
Off. The past, one of my albums, I had to go looking for Kenny Ogungbe and these guys. I went to his solo. I had to stay in front of their house. They said they would listen to it under the scourging sun. Now in my office, I can just go on the computer laptop, and then with the speed of light, your music is gone.
With the speed of light.
Yeah.
So Demola, I don't want to miss this opportunity. My way.
My way.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Well, 30 seconds is not enough to finish my way, but let me see. I think I am. Oh, come on. I think I did.
Yes.
Let's see.
Because that happens to be one of my favorite.
Oh, really?
That
Wow.
The
Also,
moment you
Wow.
You mentioned it. I was like, whoa, I got to
Wow,
get this
wow,
guy
wow.
to
Let's
do
see.
this.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case for which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I'm still young anyway. I've traveled each and every byway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did all I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this.
Yes.
I did it my way.
I will not allow you to go further, otherwise I'm going to break down in tears. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Demola Olota. That was a blast. Demola Olota, the maestro, taking us into his journey, through his journey from passion to profit, making the most of your talent. And it's been such a pleasure to have you.
It has been, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Demola, if you notice, if I hadn't been tied or wired down here, I would have been on my feet. Just showing John stuff that on the dance floor.
See, I'm humbled. I'm humbled. I'm humbled.
I'm humbled.
Thank
We'll
you so
have you
much.
again and again and again. All right?
Sure.
So, after the break, we meet Pastor Mrs. Dolly Igbinosa. Our focus will be restoring families, raising God-fearing sons and daughters. Pastor Igbinosa is firebrand, and we are about to shake some tables right now. Please don't go away.